Here we go. Welcome back, GTC special guest Tim from Dad's Garage. Jared, throw up a link for our channels, and you guys take 2 seconds and subscribe because Tim's got a great channel. I love it, absolutely love it. So today's quick topic is: has Dodge pivoted themselves right into the grave with their new design, and have they just killed themselves, left their fans behind? Let's talk about it.
All right, guys. So is the Dodge brand dead? Yeah. I am going to put it forth that I think it's not only, I think it's like the Walking Dead. It may just be sort of walking around like a zombie. It just doesn't know it's dead yet.
They pivoted themselves and just right in 6 feet under. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might be Walking Dead barely, but it's
so
over.
Let's talk for, I'm going to put up the Dodge website. Okay. Let's put up the Dodge website. And when I go there and I look at what they're showing on this website, and they got 3 things. The first thing that comes up, of course, is this new thing, right? And we'll talk about that separately, but I'm just curious, what are they selling moving forward here into the future? So they've pivoted so hard into EVs. Let's forget the fact that they're sitting on like 2 years of inventory with some of their models. It's ridiculous right now. They can't sell anything. But here you have, it's mid 2024 almost. We're in May of 2024. You've got this Hornet. You've still got the 2023 models because that's all they've got. And then you got a Durango that's going to be going away. So you're going to have this Hornet, and this is what they're going to have moving forward. That's not a brand.
Jared, you kind of nailed. I have not even been back on the Dodge website with their redesign. I'm a Dodge Performance Hemi fan, not just a blanket Dodge fan, like, Caravan and the Stratus and all those before. Viper's cool, but the Performance brand, I haven't even been back and revisited since they discontinued the Hemi. I have zero interest in what they have moving forward. Zero. That's just me.
But no, Shane, you're not alone. This is all of us who lust after those Hemis and that attitude that it brought with it. And part of it, to me, is brand. And when I come at it, by the way, I got my little brand Bible here. This is called the 22 Immutable Laws of Branding. And there's 2 things in here. I go to this when I'm at work, right? Because I'm into advertising and branding and all that kind of stuff. There's 2, like, this is a great book for those interested in like brand, like identity and things like that. There's 2 things that they break that are the laws of things, like the law of the category and the law of credentials. So in other words, the category is that they've spent all these years building up this muscle car, American muscle, brotherhood of muscle category that they've owned really well, right? Now you're pivoting, and that's why they've worked so hard at trying to tell us, no, this is electric muscle. No, it's not. It's just an EV. And in fact, it's an EV that's worse than Tesla, worse than a lot of these other brands. So you break the law of credentials, which means, let me read you the law of credentials. Law of credentials: crucial ingredient to the success of any brand is its claim to authenticity. So it's not authentic anymore. You've got, you're not even, you don't even have the credentials of an authentic EV company, yet you're trying to bring us into this EV world. It's like, if I want an EV, I'll go to Tesla, somebody who knows what they're doing. So this is absolutely, we are watching the destruction of an American iconic brand that they have absolutely put into the toilet and hit flush multiple times.
But don't tell me what I want. You're going to force feed to me, oh, you're going to love the new e-muscle. Oh, really? Listen, if I built a restaurant and it was a seafood restaurant and I built it and it was the premier restaurant that everybody came to, and I suddenly said, you know what? No more seafood. I'm going to tell you what you want. You want, we're going to go vegan and vegetarian, and all of a sudden the restaurant is just decimated. That's basically what they've done. Like, you've got something good. We're coming back to the trough, to the restaurant over and over again. Tim, you've bought 3 Scat Packs. You'll never buy another Dodge Performance probably ever again. Don't tell me what I want. I've told you what I want. And they've turned their back. It's terrible. Yeah.
Well, so in the past 5 years, how many Dodges have we owned between the 3 of us? I've got 3, or have had 3.
Oh my gosh,
You've had 4?
I've had 4.
Wow. So between us, we've had 11.
No, 5. I had a Durango.
Yes, you had a Durango.
12.
The RT, yes, yeah.
12 in 5 years. That's insane. And they've said, we don't want you anymore.
So they're going to offer these things, not only a 2-door and a 4-door, but in an EV and in a turbocharged inline 6 version. Are you intrigued at all, Tim?
I would be more intrigued if they only had the ICE version, but I don't want a version of an EV that looks the same as my ICE version. It's almost as bad as calling a Mach-E a Mustang.
But let me ask you this. If I said that orange one right there had the 6.4 392 in it, would you even be interested in from a design perspective? Because I think that is bland and boring. I think that looks like it hurts. Yeah.
I don't like the looks of it. I would be more interested because it's a motor I love. But it doesn't look good to me. And the fact that they've been spitting in my face for the past 3 years doesn't make it look any better.
I'm kind of offended that they throw the Scat Pack logo onto an EV too. I just, that bugs me so much. It's like apples and oranges. And again, back to brand category. And in our minds, Dodge is not an EV. Dodge is not an electric vehicle.
To me, Dodge equals Hemi. That's what they equal. They don't equal EV. They've hijacked the company from us. I mean, they own it, they can do whatever they want to, but is their customers, the people that actually keep them in business, they absolutely, the last several years have said, we do not care what you want. This is what you're going to get and you're going to like it. Almost like, not to get political, but almost like the WEF saying, you will own nothing and you will be happy about it. Same thing.
Yes.
And I seriously, I hear all these people that are like, well, all the EPA is push. I don't really care. There's ways to do this. How is Mustang still keeping their 5-liter? How is some of these others? How is Jeep still putting a 392 in their Wrangler? Don't tell me that you can't do this. And from a brand design, you didn't need to make a sweeping reform to the whole line. Take your 2 best selling, keep the Scat and keep a Hellcat. You don't need the Demon. You don't need the 1320. You don't need the Red Eye. Keep the 2 most coveted, the supercharged one and the 392. You can even get rid of the 5.7, like Jared would argue. But I think if you're just going to keep, and then go ahead and do your EV on the side and slowly convert the brand. And if you want an EV, and they would have been fine. And then redesign the Scat or the Hellcat, and people would have just been on board. I don't understand the whole just sweeping across the board. Nope, we're done. Okay.
Didn't it tell us everything that we need to know when the Hornet came out and they're offering rebates within 80 days or 60 days?
Yes.
Didn't that tell us enough?
Yeah. Sitting on the lot, Hornets everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, Shane, and you asked a good question. I'll put this up here. You know what I'm going to put up here? You said, even if they put the 6.4 in it, is this, let's talk just design standpoint. Is this an evolution of the Charger? That's what they're telling us.
No,
whether it's 4-door or 2-door.
That's backwards. It's totally backwards. That's not an evolution.
I mean, here you've got my Red Eye wide body Hellcat, which same form factor as a Scat Pack wide body, obviously. And now you're going to this thing that looks, I don't know. The current Challenger without the wide body, my blue Challenger looks better than this.
100%.
Totally agree.
I have never in my life seen a situation where it's like the next generation of a vehicle is actually Well, maybe there's been a few instances, but I can't think of one where it's worse. And you're like, what happened? And I think the sales are going to reflect that. I think no one's going to buy this thing, man. I really don't. There'll be a few curious people that will buy it, but who's buying this?
Yeah.
Jared, if you took 100 aliens and said, tell me which generation of car came first, I guarantee you the vast majority would say the one on top is the previous generation and the one below is the next generation. That to me is a natural evolution. Like the one on the, the Charger wide body, that seems to be like, okay, that's the next generation of the one that was on top. Now it just looks very rental car to me.
Very rental car, Shane. That's a good way to put it.
I love that term for that because I agree with you 100%. And that's where we're going to see them. That's just where we're going to see them because they're not going to be able to sell them and they're going to have to be selling them off at cut rates to the rental car companies.
I'm pretty disgusted with what they're doing. And I don't know, man. I mean, but Tim, you're a Corvette guy. How is GM evolved? Because they're making like an electric Corvette. Is that going to be a Corvette?
We haven't seen it yet. We've seen the C8. We've seen the Z06 now. The ZR1's starting to be built this summer. They got the E-Ray that's starting to hit now, which is a hybrid. Hopefully, I mean, Chevrolet's not that much smarter than any of the other ones, but I don't know. Hopefully they don't go that route because I can tell you I'm in the Corvette community, at least right now. And I can tell you that not one of them would buy an EV Corvette.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Doesn't matter what they look like. Doesn't matter what their performance is like. They will not buy.
Nope.
They just won't. So
where does Dodge go from here? Because I just think this is one of the most, I think there'll be case studies of this in the future, like, business school case studies around like brand suicide. And this will be one of those.
I agree.
What do they do? Because
this is epic suicide.
Massive. So where does the future go? What do you hope becomes of it? Do you hope that they sell it off or they just die?
I don't want Dodge to die. There's too much history there. The Hemi is legendary. For me personally, what I would like to see is I would like to see this be such a disaster that they sell the brand off and somebody that understands what they're all about buys it.
Yep.
And revives. I mean, the path has been, it was beautiful what Dodge did to create what they've done. The roadmap's there. The formula's already there. So.
Yeah, Stellantis didn't help. And we knew that. They didn't have the same vision. I think somebody needs to buy it out and the SRT needs to return. That department that they've completely got rid of. Mm-hmm. SRT, whether or not it's Dodge, but that SRT should live on because there's always been an SRT division. So somebody needs to come back in and say, you can keep what you've got, but what about reopening SRT? Right. And then you rebrand it with some of those. Yeah.
I'm with you, Tim. I don't think any of us want to see the brand die. I though am with you. I think that's the best case scenario is that they learn the hard way, which they're probably already starting to feel it. Like they thought this Hornet was just going to be it's going to be the perfect car that everybody's going to want. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
And now these EVs, the numbers on these EVs, we haven't even seen a price point yet, but they ain't going to be cheap.
No.
Yeah. I think they'll sell some of the Hurricanes initially. Not a lot. I don't think it's going to be enough to change the game or anything, but I think some people will buy them because they're going to hear, 550 horsepower Scat Pack or whatever they call it. So I think some people will probably buy it just because it's a Dodge and because they want to reminisce, but it's they're not buying the same car anymore.
I mean, Shane, are you intrigued at all by the Hurricane?
None. Zero. No, I have, like I said, I haven't even visited the web page. I'm not keeping up with anything. There have been no reviews in Throttle House or Car Wow or Car Edge. I haven't seen any reviews on them. So they're dead. flatline, defibrillator. I don't think they were gonna. Yeah.
So I think they're either dead or just zombie, kind of walking around with Tim Kuniskis sort of, doing his thing, kind of still trying to tell us that intro video where you got like the reanimated Dodge brothers and stuff. They're selling that hard to us, and it's just like, and it's like, I'm sorry, but nobody in their right muscle mind is going to sit here and take that as a muscle car. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
You didn't do enough to make it categorically different than Tesla.
Yep. I'm not even sure Kuniskis believes what he's saying, to be honest with you. I look at him and I just see somebody very disingenuous. Like, I'm sure he makes a freaking lot of money and he's going to cash it in as long as he can. But to me, it's embarrassing when I watch him talk, because he's trying to sell something that the guy can't really believe it. I just don't believe that he really believes it.
I said the same thing. I felt that he probably behind closed doors was like, this is trash. And they said, here's the script. And he went out there and it was this fake. Yeah, it was very disingenuous. It was this fake hype, like, it's going to be the best EV muscle ever. And you're like, I'm not buying it. I don't feel that you really feel that way.
What if a charger has a charger?
Yeah.
Oh, give me a break.
Yeah. Who does the thumb? Who did the thumb? Like, was that you, Tim, doing a thumbs up there?
I did the thumbs down and it popped up on the screen.
I was shaking my hand.
Oh, I see. If you do this, does it pop up a thumb? It's kind of like when I was married back in the day, and I come home and I open the fridge and there's a big pack of Tofurkey sitting there, which is right. And my ex-wife was sitting there trying to tell me and sell me on the fact of how great the Tofurkey tastes, right? And I'm like, why are you trying to make your food taste like my food? Why don't you just have some turkey? It's the stupidest thing ever. And now you're trying to tell me, you're trying to sell me some Tofurkey on wheels. That's what you're trying to do.
Impossible burger. Yeah, they're selling you an Impossible burger and you're going.
I wanted to give this a chance. I really did. You probably know that I went to SEMA a couple years ago or whatever, whenever it was, and I saw the car live, which looked better than this production model. It looked slightly better. I really hate it. I don't kind of hate it. I really hate it. I don't like a lot about it. The rear end is kind of intriguing because it kind of looks like a Challenger, but it certainly doesn't look like the evolution of a Charger.
It's sad. It's very sad, honestly, because I love the Dodge brand, what they did over the past 10 or 12 years.
Yeah.
But what they have become today is an absolute embarrassment, and I agree they're cooked. They are cooked.
All right, this is 3 shovels full of dirt on the Dodge brand. We're officially putting them in the grave. Hey, guys, Tim, let's do this again, can we?
I'd love to. It's a lot.
Please. This was great, you guys. So great. Thank you.
Talk to you guys soon.
Till next time. Take care, you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
See ya.